Welcome to Daily Thetha. Well, the late and great Steve Biko once said, and I do quote, township life alone makes it a miracle for anyone to live up to adulthood. Well, there were, of course, and there we see a situation of absolute want in which black kill black to be able to survive. And today, of course, on the show, the impact of townships in South Africa, the history behind it, and what relevance in Alinyona in 2017. Kini Tumelo, Mothotoane amore.
Sanibonani igama lami ngokini Shandu njengoba seshilo uTubi namhlanje zuma in kakhulu emalokishini sibheka isimo sesakhiwo sasemalokishini ukuthi as much as wabiza ngamakhaya ethu ayekade designele ini kwakungenye indlela ukuthi sicindezele besuse emnothweni besibeke sodwa njengabantu abamnyama but emveni kwalokho bakhona abantu abenza izinto ezinhle lokishini kodwa bifane kathi more about that.
Well, if you do know your history in South Africa, what's about black people were once removed from taken to these townships. They were segregated. Most townships had one entrance, just one exit, so that government controller. Since that act is implemented, what are South Africans doing in townships? Is it a place the township economy? Is it a place it's destructive for black people? Or there's actually a lot more improvement today. We're finding out.
And also, so the studio audience here too, and it's just to find out amathuba sekhona izinto sezihamba ngendlela okumele ngabe hamba ngayo namhlanje sanibonani sinimukele kweTheli Thetha kwi-couch nonke sanibonani no umbuzo sifuna ukubuza ukuthi ngokubona kweni sesidlulile kwe-apartheid njengamanje but 23 years later do you think ukuthi kukhona improvement emalokishini sabona mfethu wani igama lakho
sakubona thina nolukholo into ngifuna ithetha kumna akhoni ngako tshintshile what I would say the only thing that I would say has changed is that us as black people are now allowed to go into white people territory. But besides that, nothing has changed. If anything, since everything, the economy is always, prices are always going high, everything is always going up. And it always stays the same. It becomes harder and harder to live and more dangerous as a result.
But how about now that emalokishini amaningi sesibona even intuthuko efana nama-malls as well, ama-parks, nazonke lezo zinto. Namanje lokho akulenza umehluko?
Honestly, not much. In terms of umahluko upi, you don't have to travel further. But I also think that's the point, to limit black people to go to town, give them the same things. Because I don't even think any of those malls are black owned, honestly. So it's just to keep black people more oppressed away from the malls, because it's less to travel to the mall that's nearest you than to actually go to town where we're not wanted, I feel.
Okay, my sister, what you think about the quality of bophelo go di townshipping jare?
Okay, libitso la ka ke Ziyanda Mongwe, and na I think go kasi hariphilisani. We don't support each other, and as black people we're not gonna go anyway. As you said, like Ronaldi malls and parks and all that. Those are just cover-ups. They are trying to cover up for people not to ask questions. Why are blacks still living the same way they used to live back then? So the more little saying they are just cover-ups. They don't count for nothing. That's my opinion.
What quality of life do you think all of us, regardless of race, should have so that it won't we're equal in terms of Mordulangon?
We should treat each other equal, and our businesses, we should all get capital, equal capital, so that we can all move to the suburbs and live the life that white people are living and have money like them. But as I said, so if you have a business as a black person, you have to go out there and look for your target market, which are white people. So it should start firstly at home. We should learn to support each other and support local people.
Does anybody else agree we should live or pursue a white life? Does anyone? I want to know your opinions. Does anybody agree or disagree in terms of should we pursue bophelo ba makgowa or bophelo bo leng bo re fana rena as batho ba batsho?
No, I don't think so, because I mean we have to build our own legacy, guys. We cannot be based on we want to live like white people, because if we're doing that, then we're forgetting about ourselves, us as black people. So meaning that we just deriving from whatever purpose that we're here to do. So I believe that yes, we can get our own businesses and everything and push each other, but we don't really have to have the life that they have. We can turn Soweto into Santon, you know what I mean? Because we opening up businesses there, and then we actually doing things like opening shops and all of that, you know what I mean? So we don't really have to be like white people. We have to just continue with our journey and just do good.
That's a good question, but how do we do that? Baba Buntu, what is your, can you just please pass on the mic, what your view is, just on this conversation about, should we be pursuing a white lifestyle?
Not at all. I think it's very dangerous when we do that. I think the reason why South Africa is so oppressed as it is because we have been forced to abide by white people's rules and power and legacies. And if we do the same, we will continue to have those legacies. Black people will continue to oppress other black people. So I think we need to have a completely different script. And I think it's important to remember we used to have this continent. We used to live freely and in a liberated way on this continent hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So we have templates to draw from. We have done this before. We have had thriving trade. We have had thriving manufacturing. We have had a borderless continent. We are used to live with diversity and difference of worship, difference of religion, difference of spiritual understanding, and we still used to get along. So we are just too caught up in the reality that Europeans have shown us, and we need to create outside of that.
Baba, I just want to find out something. Yes, let's go. Let's go. I want to find out something. Do you think if I'm from a township, does that impact me anyhow, like make me feel less of a human being just because I'm from township?
You know what, I think I can't just give a blanket statement yes or no, but what I can say is that by and large, township life impacts you spiritually, psychologically, culturally, economically, politically, on all levels, because it's set up to be a death camp. It's set up to remind you that all you are is a black person who only has value when you work to enrich white people. That's the only point of you being alive. If you can't do that, you might as well just die. So I want us to also remember, right now we have a discourse around the violence we are showing against women, and we need to go back to how the creation of township life was designed to even find the roots of how we have become so disrespectful to each other. How when we see other black people, we see death. We treat each other as death. We treat each other as nothing because this has been designed for us. So this is time we need to wake up and create our own script.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Pastor on the mic, do you think our townships were designed as deconcentration camps? Because as we grow up as Vaso, we have this kasi pride, and I don't want anything to do with the burbs. But is that the intention, that black people have at least a sense of pride about their townships and where they come from?
I think when you have to look in townships, it's psychological aspect part of township, is you have to ask yourself questions. That how is it possible that black people, having built any good city in this country that you know, from Port Elizabeth, Cape Town, and whatever, is built by black people, and therefore they are relegated to the condition of animals. So basically, psychological aspect of township life was to biologically manipulate you into inferiority complex. Because now, part of the building block in the inferiority complex is to convince you, just like Baba Buntu said, that you need to feel, you need to see that actually you are inferior. So now you have got this white woman producing a show called Yizo Yizo. What did they do there? Glorify prison, praise prison, make people believe that going to prison is a township life. And therefore, after that series was screened, what happened? You see a whole lot of black people killing each other, raping the black women. Because when they go to prison, when they come out, that's a degree to them.
So you don't think there was actually a lesson, you don't want to go to jail. How in the township? You don't think the series was about that, for example? You think it was a way to say, aspire for this?
For example, I mean, if you remember the series very well, people coming from prison, they were the most feared, most respected, and they were calling temps. So basically, you need to understand even the concept of media and television, the series, movies that you see, there's always a purpose. Psychological warfare, because black people are unbreakable. For after 400 years of being killed, dehumanized, indoctrinated, incarcerated, they realize that black people cannot be broken. So the best way is to say the newest form of imperialism is actually psychological warfare. Let's condition the way they look at themselves.
It's hot. It's hot. My sister, I believe you have a comment over there.
Yeah, I mean, Look, I mean, I completely acknowledge and understand that we're talking about the negative impacts of living in the township. But picking up from your point, let's talk about the family unit. I get we all know what the whole Group Areas Act was an attempt to separate us and really kill our dignity. But I want us to talk about the family unit and how, as black people, it has formed an institution for resilience to a point where actually townships do not represent an inactive space that is occupied by objects. You know, we're subjects, we're economically active. Even though in the macro scale, when you talk about mainstream economy, we all know that like the informal economy contributes billions that do not form part of the GDP because it's undocumented, you know. So I almost feel like at some point we need to move on from the conversation of how it's so bad to come from the township. I come from the township, but let's talk about the positivity and let's talk about our African institutions and how that forms part of our resilience and how we are beautiful people today, you know.
Nice one. And yona nto ngampela sobe sikhuluma ngayo after this break. We want to find out exactly ukuthi ilokishi ngoba likhandiwe nje impact kanjani empilweni yomuntu. Yabuya after this.
All right, welcome back to Livability Daily Thetha. We're looking at the history. Yeah, the townships, and when did they begin? Why did the government here apartheid implement the townships, and where to from here?
Before our townships, especially welcome we couch Baba Buntu from Ebukosini as well as Sizwe Papubungwe. Welcome to Daily Thetha Machita.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cool stuff. Let me start with this question. Before townships, where do us black people used to live?
I think it's very important for us to remember that we used to be a free people. We used to travel, we used to migrate, we used to look for better opportunities, we used to meet other people, merge with them, find life together. And then 1652, the invasions of gangsters into this country, and it's important to remember it that way. From there, a completely different design for life, for meaning of life, for how we interacted was designed, and it's important to remember that before the first townships, there's more than 250 years of that design of oppression, of marginalization, of African people not deciding where they want to live, how they're going to move, where they can have access. So let's remember that towards the end of 1800s, we have the rushes towards. Okay, at this time, in rural areas, there would be enforcement of tax. So you were manipulated to have to go and seek work outside of where your family was staying, so that you could pay tax. And that would normally mean that you had to go to a city area, which was always designed only for white people, not for black people to live in. But you needed to earn money. So you wanted to flock to cities so that you could get money, so that you could pay that tax and you could support the family in a rural area. Now, this is when the diamond rush started, the gold rush started. This is when the Boer War displaced a lot of people. So there was havoc around South Africa. People were moving, looking for opportunities, and desperately so. Now, white people then decided that too many black people are coming to our towns, because towns were not meant for black people. So we need to restrict where they should live, how they should live. And this is the origin of what became the squatter movement, where African people actually decided, we are going to move here, we are going to move here. White people then became very scared, because now they could see that they couldn't control black people the way they wanted. So then a very, very totalitarian policy of policing people started, which led to what became the Urban Act, the Areas Act, where black people were told where to live and where not to live.
Even when I was doing my research on Hendrik Verwoerd, I describe the townships and segregation, we reach a demographic representativity for Yena. Mara, about the design and the way in which the townships needed designed back in the day, there was one entrance and one exit to the township, specifically Tepsabo Soweto, and then the rest were covered. And there were no trees, no Apollo, obviously for the helicopter or trace about and the movement of people.
Even amapoisa begotumangu no dlam avela avalinda we because that's where abantu kumele bephume khona. So abazukwazi vele phuma.
What was the population controlled in that sense? Nearly the intention of the government then or control but how about in that sense?
You see, Pata, there's a man named Willie Lynch. Now, Willie Lynch's plan was to break the black man and the black woman. Now, for you to break these people, you need to first divide them. So here in South Africa, you look at the majority of black people, different languages, and this is a minority group of white people. You don't have enough black people, so in order to make sure that you are able to conquer these people, even the colored race was created in the process to cause confusion. Now, the barriers in the township is because if people are together and united, obviously they'll be able to stand against your...
mobilize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now that was to actually divide black people and rule them, divide the black man against the black woman. And the very same thing, I mean, you see now a man beating his girlfriend. That is the very same thing. The black woman had to suffer the brutality of being raped in front of her husband and her family. And the very same thing that was practiced by the white society now is practiced by black people. Because psychologically you are trying to, like you said, you have the sister there. She said, we want to live like white people. But what you need to understand about white foundations, it's foundation built on blood. The foundation of white wealth is built on the bloodshed and the back of black people. So now anything that is built on death, or on resource theft, and also theft, then can never succeed that much. So what we need to do on our space as black people is to understand that we're the original people. The reason why white people even came to oppress us because we are the original man. Now they saw us as a threat to the actually existent in society.
I think I have to ask this question to you, gentlemen over here, is that now, 2017, ukhona nomehluko that we see in townships. If you look at the way we live in townships right now.
Let me be controversial a little second. You see, if a so-called black Moses say, let freedom ring. So let freedom ring for black men to go and work in white institutions, to go again, face racism, that there's what we call labor extraction. You exploit labor from the shack, from the village, from the township, and when it's an income earner, they introduce you to what you call debt. So that when you fail to pay whatever it is you owe them, they can freeze your asset. So there's no change because the newest form of imperialism is in the form of death, it's in the form of biological weapons, in the form of AIDS, cancer. All those are being created to make sure black people remain as inferior as they can. When the Jews were actually killed, 6 million Jews were killed by Adolf Hitler, there was reparations to make sure they can again regain their confidence as human beings. But as for black, it's just thank you, we forgive each other. This is rainbow nation. It's rainbowism built on blood and shit.
But I mean, I think that the segregation from Mahua wasn't just between black and white, but tribalism as well. You know, it's predominantly Tsonga speaking or Venda speaking language about Zulus. I'm sure in a certain area, but why was it so important for the then government not only do they segregate us via our race, but even via our tribes and languages?
Exactly. I wanted to just pick up on a question or a statement that was made a little bit earlier where it was said that there's also positive things happening in townships and we shouldn't be ashamed of townships. I don't think that's the question. The question is we need to remember how it was designed and what it was designed for. And like you said, division runs through how the divide and rule policies of how Europeans have conquered and entered Africa, because it's a small group taking on the power of so many. And this is how they've been able to do that, to pit us against each other, to not even want to be us. And I just wanted to say very quickly, I think there's 3 outcomes that we need to understand how it has impacted on us as African people to be townshipped and put into boxes and concentration camps. And I like to call it spirit, mind, and body. So if we start with body, when the black body becomes a representation of being locked up, being imprisoned, not being free, you start to relate to your skin color in a very, very strange way, because blackness then means the one who's not human, the one who doesn't belong, the one who could walk on the street and actually be shot without any other reason than that you are in fact black. So when we start to hate each other or start to not like each other based on complexion, based on language, based on nationality across the continent, it's because it was scripted into our being. That was what we're supposed to do. Spirit. When we are a spiritual people, we are intuitive, we understand nature, we relate to our land. When our land has been taken away from us and we don't have the papers that they tell us we need to be able to show that we own something, we lose ourselves. We cannot find ourselves because we are completely bewildered. And then in terms of mind, when everything in a township is designed, and that's how it started,
yeah.
been designed that a certain education that you shouldn't get, there's certain jobs you mustn't even aspire to have. You stop aspiring. And this, I see this in young people even today, that sometimes we call it procrastination, but sometimes it is being born into a box where you are reminded that you cannot go anywhere. And we start to socialize around that. Why are you thinking you can be an advocate? Why do you think you didn't even come from a family of money? Stop this nonsense. Know who you are.
Yeah. Cool. We're going to be taking your calls as well on 011-339-1315. And of course on Facebook, going to be chatting to you, Sizu Tutini, as well. I see something from Palisibulele Diale. We fail to support one another in childhood. So where is the humanity? Emalokshini. Kolani Empangeni Siabuya, when after this.
Celebrity Daily Thetha about the impact of the Townships in South Africa, where we come from and where we are moving. About the history of the Townships, what the then apartheid government's mission was. From this point forward, are we still living up to that legacy? Are we doing much, to change that legacy or not, Kini?
And then as well. Indawo osuka kuyona yak influence ubuwena nangendlela ophila ngayo. Sikhathi esiningi umuntu umuntu ehlonipha kuthiwa usuka kuphi ne? And we want to find out ukuthi ilokish lona linayiphi impact as well. I believe we still have uXolani on the line. Xolani, do we have you Empangeni?
Baba ngiyakubingelela nonke lapha estudio baba.
Yebo ex.
Yeah, mina ngijabuleka ukuhlangana nani. Sekwekwani esikhathi eside nje singasahlangani ngenxa yamabhizi athile nathileke baba.
Airtime into njenge airtime kanje kodwa isifana.
Hayi airtime ayihluphi baba bekuzingxaki nje ezithile, ingxaki ezithile baba.
Yes.
Here in comment.
Yes.
Comment yakho?
I-comment yami baba ithi inkinga indaba yokuhlupheka emntwini mangakakhishwa ekhanda lakhe. Kufana nalento yobandlululo malungakakhishwa emakhanda abantu liyohlezi lukhona. Uma ungathatha umuntu ohluphekayo uzomfaka kuma suburbs ubusu ngamchazeli ukuthi ukuhlupheka kuyena kususiwe noma uphumile ekuhluphekeni uzofila esesekuhluphekeni noma ekuleyo ndawo ngoba lento yokuhlupheka isuke ingasekho emzimbeni kodwa isekhanda lakhe. Ubandlululo masingakhumbula kahle ngempela nje Mthiya lapho estudio nalabo iaudience ohlezi nayo kade lidlulile uma ubuka impilo esiyiphilayo sikwazi ukuzenzela sinikwa amathuba besingakwazi ukuwathola senza izinto besingakwazi sigqoka impahla besingavunyelwa ukuyigqoka eSouth Africa kade kunzima ngisho ukugqoka uhlobo oluthile lwempahla ubuza ukuthi ugqoka lolu uhlobo lwempahla nje usebenzaphi lelo jezo nje ogqokile wemthiya nalelo washi ubungachaza ngalo ukuthi wathenga kanjani manje siphila kwi-freedom mase sekwi-freedom sifile ngazi ukuthi sisesobandlululweni inkinga sike sasobandlululweni mina-ke ngiyakholwa wemthiya ngike ngafunda iBhayibheli abantwana baka-Israyeli bekhishwa eGibhithe mabesendleleni noMoses bathi bekungcono eGibhithe egqilini kunala sikhona umuntu ngamsusa le uma ungakayikhiphi lento engqondweni yakhe ingxaki izohlezi ikhona yileyo comment yami engithi ake sibemukele ushintsho sizame ukuthi siphile kulona
siyabonga baqolani
Xolani, just a quick point nje ukuthi umuntu ngamshintsha kodwa ingqondo yakhe mangakashintshi inkinga iselapha. I see something as well from Frankie, which I think the only thing that must change in the town is the mindset of people who think white people are superior. So everything is on the mind again.
Mindset about the spirit, about the body, about the mind. We're joined by Kulus Kenjai, Mahapa, Le Amanda Shasha, about, of course, where to from here, transitioning from what the apartheid government had intended to where we're moving to in 2017. Thank you so much for joining us. About the mindset, Frankie, do you think we have freed our mind in terms of our attitudes towards migration and what our intentions are in terms of Mordulangona in our dwellings?
No, not at all. I mean, I think everyone has touched on a very important point regarding the legacy of apartheid as it still affects us today. And as I was touching on earlier, I've done extensive research in terms of the African family unit and the impact of the forced removals in terms of, you know, familial roles and this just general strength of the family as an educational institution. And it's very grounded within the concept of Ubuntu, which is what sustained us. So I think psychologically, what we need to realize is that the first attack of the colonial or the colonialist was our family unit, because that's where our strength lies. So right now, we're complaining about the fact that we're disjointed and it's an individualistic mindset. So in terms of changing the psyches of people, I think we need to go back to the forefront and the ground to say, actually, as a black person, there's a reason that you had Rakhadi, there's a reason that you had Malome, there's a reason you could go knock next door and ask for sugar or salt and whatever. And even bringing it outside the townships towards the regeneration of the government structure in terms of informal settlements towards the RDP houses. We still face the same situations because the housing crisis, we're moving people towards a place where they have no dignity. But on top of that, the way we're doing it, we're still cutting down those familial building blocks of I can actually go next door and ask for sugar.
Cool. Let me bring you in kule subject esikhuluma kanje ngamanje. Esikhathi esiningi sikhuluma lokushini we ubaba aye emayini osebenza enomama aye emakhishini eningane esele soda. Ubani ngempela owenza sure ukuthi lezi ngane ezikhulayo zikhula ngesandla esiqotho?
Wamele kube khona ugogo. Kube khona umamncane odadbawo uyabona. The family kodwa ke manje mangabe muthi umama uyahamba uyosebenza ubaba uyemakhishini sale lokishini ilokishi was created to remove, it was a forced removal, right? So we've been forced into this. So akekho umuntu this was izinto zakudalo ayikudala kangako, right? When this happened kodwa where I'm driving to ngoba ubuza ukuthi ingane zisala nobani. Back then there was no TV, but I want to believe ukuthi the people who designed this whole setup are the same people who are responsible for lokho kuthiwa uTV manje namhlanje
lo vele kukho nje
naso namhlanje ingane zisala nobani zifundiswa ubani TV uyabo. So yeah, sisenkingeni. A number has been pulled on us, a serious number. You know, every time we speak psychological and this physical boxing that has been done, I feel we separate, or we don't realize just how connected and one the psychological and the spiritual is. So now when we are attempting to get out of this indignity that we have been forced into in the townships, we do it with a mindset, right, of white is better, a white mindset. So our aspirations, when we try to say ngiyaputuga, right, uputuga by going as far away from yourself, psychologically, spiritually as well. Okay, so in whose name are you asking when you mutandaza ukuthi ucela ukuthi izinto zibe ngcono for yourself and your family?
Let me come back to that question, Khulu, and let me ask it to you, Amanda, especially more baneng the impact ya bana. I mean, ge ke gola Kini ke gotse ka ntlong ya koko gona le malome le bana ba malome le msadi wa malome le ragadi le bana ba bona. It was almost this matchbox e leng gore we were just packed sardines. Mara ga bana a o bone lo tjono bona ile just the family unit. Mara the impact ya ngwana gore o gotse a robala go dining room a le mo fatshe ene it didn't matter. How do you think that contributed to some of the social ills? Go add on to what's happening outside of that matchbox ya ka Montlo.
I mean, you grow up with a whole lot of people around you, so you're also exposed to maybe we've got different parents as well, you know what I mean? So my dad and my mom is not going to give me the same thing as maybe if I grew up with my cousins, the same thing that my cousins also get, you know what I mean? So I just also feel like we all grow up together and we learn from one another as well in a household, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
When we think about the RDPs, I don't know if you see an improvement or 10 steps backward. What do you think or make of that as well.
It's all backwards, guys, because we have not addressed, right, the living condition, the forced condition, right? We should, if we are saying we are free, right, then we should reject all the things, right, that fundamentally, right, oppress us and put us in a position of disadvantage and no dignity. So fundamentally we should be saying no to the townships, but no, now we are suffering from a Stockholm syndrome that we call ourselves free and then seek to even celebrate these townships, these concentration camps that we've been forced into. And these things are small, guys. They are small, and what has been done. Remember, what has been done to us is they're controlling our movement to also now help make us forget exactly how big our Al-Kebulan Africa really is. See, because the size of Africa is also a lie. We do not realize exactly how big our land is. Resourceful. Therefore, if you think small just with your space, what you have, how's your mind going to?
But guys, coming to that as well, there is abantu abaningi abathi ilokishi lingakhile. The fact that I'm from Township, yona into engenze successful ngaleyo ndlela today.
I stand to differ. Your spirit, the spirit of your ancestors, the resilience, right, got you through this madness that you were born into. Alukakhange ilokishi. You were one of millions that managed to get out. Okay, to get out. This is not normal. It's not a good thing to celebrate. Okay, that you, one of millions, manages to achieve some success, and that success is everything that is not you. Okay, and then once again, let's actually look at our black brothers and sisters who have made it. What's happening there in the suburbs, right? Who have all gone and have made it, right? That is not African. Guyanuga in my suburbs.
So sabanu sema sabab.
Kuyanuga ema sabab sini siyabuya after this.
Yo.
Structure of the township allow for economic progress. Yeah, ngokubona kwami kakhulu futhi manje ngoba kuna ama local business ayakhula ikasi ithola recognition because youth eningi like baqala ama business and bakhulisa ikasi yabona and it's growing.
Vutomi bya le township byi fast ngopfu munhu wa kota ku va akula aba rich atendela swilo maka ku life ya le township yi simple ku tlula life yala kun'wani ene swilo swi hatla ku humelela munhu anga tendela bindzu a township a ti xavisela a kota ku tendela mali a ta hanyisa hi ndlela leyo a va kha ku laya mahlweni.
I-structure se-community yethu doesn't allow progress yethu because mina as unothando I did drama esikoleni but ke akho ma auditions eswezayo like kasi akho lutho yenziwayo so like asi-allow kahle kahle ukuthi siqhubeke saside nathi sikwazi ukuthi siqhubeke nama-career ethu sibe lezi zinto esifuna ukuba yizo sikwazi uku-acta one day.
The township now sesinamamoli sesinezinto ezinjalo abantu bayakwazi ukuthola imisebenzi khona la eduze abantu bala e-township. Yeah, so I think so.
Like at the township, more daily Thetha and like when batho ba reng mo strateng, but there are of course opportunities more the township more bona gore township so they're getting a bit more recognition. Gets about government law night this policy the township economy mo banya kang gore chelete is circulate mo townshiping gore batho ba ska tswa ba ya tropong go bereka. Mara re ke bona gore on Twitter, what are you saying? You're tweeting at Dr. Marshall K or Daily Thetha. How about we discuss township heroes? Because in painting townships negative, we are producing another inferior generation. So,
that's
heroes charna di kai.
Yona ngempela into sesenza njengamanje. Let's welcome Max Mkati. Abantu abaningi bayebethi Max seshisa nyama. I'm like, no, it's a lifestyle.
Max, don't relegate it to shisa nyama. It's a lifestyle.
Welcome to Daily Thetha vote.
Sanibonani.
Yebo.
Unjani ba?
Ngiyaphila.
Cool. In fact, abantu abaningi bamefuna ukuqala ama-business or bena business ba move away from election because bakhala ukuthi support ayikho election abantu ba good bakusupport amakushoni ekhakini or mo nomshado but also vula business hayi bayahamba ke lapha. Why did you decide ukuthi uvele uvule this 5-star lifestyle emlazi ka V?
Ndiqala kwi attitude yakho individual if your attitude is positive, everything that you do is going to be positive. I hear Uguti, we blaming people. We don't blame ourselves, because the mistake that we do, if you do the mistake, doesn't mean all people they do that mistake. Even those people who rape women do wrong things. It's an attitude that is individual.
Well, like blaming ourselves. What should we blame ourselves for?
I don't think we need to blame ourselves, or we need to go back where we're coming from. Those days will never come. Let's focus to a new things, what is happening now, and the chances that we have. Because we have 20 years. We have a democracy for 20 years. We can't cry. When we'll stop crying, we must stand up and be, discipline, compromise, and sacrifice. That's what you need to do if you want to change yourself and change the world.
Alrighty then, my sister, I want to turn the microphone. And I want you to tell me, or do you think we should stop focusing on the past and going back into what Hendrik Verwoerd did and all those bad things at township and refocus on the future and where we're going with our townships?
My name is Thetha, and I'm also from the township. And I would like to refer to what one of the ladies said, that they build us malls to keep away from maybe Sandton. First of all, who is they? And what are you doing as a young person? I find it very disturbing when a young person sits down and says that they are doing this and they are doing this. And first of all, when this whole apartheid thing started, we said that they're building malls in Sandton to keep us away because they know we can't get to Sandton, because we aren't available to get to Sandton because we don't own cars and black people are disadvantaged like that. Now they build us malls here in the hood to be close to you, and you're still saying that there's no change in the hood. There is a lot of change in the hood, because first of all, I am sitting here right now and I am from the hood. Let's forget about, I'm not saying totally forget where we come from, but there's a quote that says that forgive our black parents because they were not born in a society whereby dreams became reality. You're a young person, it's 2017, and you need to learn that what happened there happened. You don't let your parents, whatever they went through back then, be for nothing. It's 2017 and you need to wake up and start doing things for yourself. Don't say they do this, they do that. What are you doing as a black person?
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, Casey. Let's do our move past. Don't you think past your influence our future somehow?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm an academic, so fundamentally I do value education, and I think we need to learn from our history, and we need to know our history. And as black people, the reason we're even oppressed is because we don't have strength, because we don't know our history. I agree with what she's saying, that we need to transition, because right now we are African people within a global context. I mean, one of the things that we did as 3 young people that own a company called Wise Communications is we started this thing called Kasi Career Expo. And it's a product of 3 young people that made it. I mean, I'm 26, finishing my PhD, heading to the States, heading to Austria over scholarships and so on. But we took a step back and we said, listen, actually, why am I here as Matlako, and what do I do to make sure that within the context of struggle, I still say history is important, within the context of struggle, what is my role as an academic, as a young person who has made it, to ensure that other people can make it coming forward? And we looked at the township economy itself and we said, actually, there's so many small businesses and they're passion projects, right? So in an economy where in a country, our mortality rate is 65, between 62 and 65, but 45% of the population lives in absolute poverty. That means we have a population that's very active, and that's actually very entrepreneurial where they come from, right? So in terms of questioning these systems of structural exclusion, we're saying, let's go back and say, it is wrong that my aunt or neighbor has to get on 5 taxis to get to Sandton. It's wrong that we work with NGOs in Winterveld that don't even access to, they have to take a train to go the opposite side and then might get taxi to go back to the opposite side to look for a job. So then what we're saying is, in terms of this communication, in terms of us having conversations about moving forward actively, how do we engage industry itself, because knowledge must never be forgotten, and how do we then grow businesses like Max's Lifestyle and create institutions for young people to then bring the economy back.
23 years sibi democracy njengamanje sifuna ukwazi ngempela ukuthi iziphi izinto esingazenza ukuze sishintshe ibuso belokishi after this sekhona futhi with Max.
We're almost at the end of our program. Thank you for staying. Daily Thetha. We're talking about townships, where we come from, but we're particularly interested in where to from here and how can we make the best with the situation and make sure we are benefit and generations to come.
Yeah, and inkulumo yethu ayigcini kuthina kuphela because sinikeza nawe ithuba lokuthi usifonele njengoTami in KZN. Welcome to Daily Thetha, Tami. Hello, Tami.
Yebo, mhlonishwa.
Ngikhona namhlonishwa. Ithini comment yakho baba?
Bafethu lana mina ngiyabheka ngiyathula ngiyabuka ukuthi izinto esinazo kulesi sikhathi sanamhlanje.
Yep.
Yonke into isezandleni zikaNkulunkulu. So thina uma silahlekelwe uNkulunkulu asibazi uNkulunkulu yini. Ngiyacabanga sikhulume konke sikukhulumayo. Ngeke kube yizi kuzoba yizwa ngoba asimazi uNkulunkulu. Ngoba yonke into yethu sisemhlabeni nje obaba bethu bayaphila ngendlela abaphila ngayo. Ingoba bayiplani kaNkulunkulu. So everything esiphilayo thina is the plan of God. Nathi uma singasondeli uNkulunkulu sohlala sigxeka abantu sikhala kubantu every time.
Manje Thami ushuthi noma singaba nalolu hlelo sidingidele indaba kubalekile kodwa asibuyele eNkulunkulu nje.
Kakhulu nje bengithi nayo khona lokho kungabaluleka ukuthi nje konke i-foundation manje ukuthi sesiyamazi uNkulunkulu manje asitheni again yazi nokholwa it's something else.
Okay,
you don't blame other people. You just know that it's konke okwenzekalayo okubinzima nohlangana naningi ngonathi it's because of me. Not other people.
Thank you so much, Tami. Thank you so much. Let's come to you, Baba Buntu, and just ask you, with regards to what Tami is talking about, religion. Some may say religion is a problem, so that we don't move forward. Is it the solution? Is it not? Moving forward.
You know, I think it's important that we talk about spirituality also in the context of townships because, and I want to just say this, that when we keep referring and talking about the history of the township, people shouldn't see that as a debate of saying that we are going back, we are just remembering the bad part. We need to, I'm trying to understand what's happening now. So what we call despondency, what we call laziness, what we call procrastination is not necessarily just that. It's a result of a whole process. And I think religion has played a very detrimental role in also creating mindsets that don't stand up to oppression, that don't criticize very oppressive systems, that don't expect more, and even script that when you are oppressed and when you feel pain, you are even a better believer, you are even a better religious person if you suffer more. These are very dangerous concepts to a people that are already marginalized and taken away from what they own.
In closing, Jebaba sinukuza kwena sizwe ukuthi yena ithini ke ifuture yamabhizinisi aselokishini?
I'm glad for that question because now something that we don't focus on is we're talking about transitioning. Now, if your daughter have been raped, let me say by 5 men or so, and therefore she developed a fear within her of being in a relationship, and then you go and say, no, you see what? You're just giving an excuse. You need to move on. That thing have passed. Now you are being unrealistic and hypocritical. Because you need to understand there should be a conversation with this person. There should be a psychological rehabilitation process. And before she can move on to being in relationships, she needs to therefore become comfortable again to accept that not all men are the same. Now, talking about the township business, look at the township business so you understand the psychological aspect of indoctrination. Now you have got a person selling oranges here, oranges here, oranges here. That's not competition. That's actually divide and rule. They are divided. How about this very same people, these 10 businesses just trading in one market, go and get a place and rent and make it a supermarket and all become shareholders. Now, we hold back because psychologically we don't self-preserve. We don't preserve black. You see Indians, the very same Indian shops, you find that is one supplier. That's why the products are a little cheaper because they self-preserve Indians. You see all these white businesses. Look at how big Checkers and ShopRite are. But they came together at some point to make sure that they reach out to different segments of the market. There is black businesses in our selfish, not necessarily selfish, in our preceding selfishness, which has been created by interventionalism of indoctrination. The problem is it's not necessarily complaining, but indoctrination and imperialism is still within.
Yeah.
You see violent images on television. How do you explain the fact that you see white dolls in black communities to condition the mind of black babies? Therefore, when you see black babies behaving as if white people are physical gods, it's because that's how they've been conditioned by the society.
All right, Sizo, thank you so much for your comment. Is Buti Batlo commenter?
tshediso ke tswa Manzeville ne ntho ke kra hangata mo kasi ne ke utlile go rotmana bua ka gore ne o sa nna proud gore or o tswa kasi or eng a se ntho ka e berekisang gore live or o proud ka yona so flopa go gore rona ba kasi e re rutile one thing rona ba re tswang go kasi re bua ka mesa ba ba ploma go kasi right now wa bo kasi re rutile one thing re street smart wa tlhaloga not in a sense of education but re street smart a gona clever ka mpaisi sam for Joes ke ntho ba le gore ba itse so flopa engwe gape ke gore why re batla go go di sabapong ga re gola go kasi ya rona ke ntho ne le gore ra e bona go TV ke ntho ne TV tlhagisa wa tlhaloganya ane flopa engwe go gore focus ga gona red b let's say maybe re batla di sports tse leng gore ga di ntho ena wa tlhaloganya re batla go tlhala red b ga gona red b focus so we have to go to white schools or re le go nna go di sabapong gore re krera go teso wa tlhaloganya go rotman that's why re batla go blomara wa tlhaloganya ke wana gore bana le educational system e more advanced than ya rona batho ba go kasi wa tlhaloganya focus rona ga rena di go tesa that's why ga re gola le rona re batla go tsenya bana ba rona sekolo so go tloga bonnyane ra ba bolelela ra idong gore o itse ke if you can study wa bereka gore nne go sabapong so that your kids can live better
quality of life
even ngisenza kuwena nje there's this thing coming up ama malls elokishini do you think ama malls ngempela aba empowerish abantu because abanye bakhala ukuthi ama malls la mayifika kuyavala iphaza zethu because we can no longer trade asinayo competition with ama malls
ukhulumela ubhuti mangabe la malls bokuyi initiative ethatha abantu abatradeayo already abathengisayo abadayisayo bayiphaza yabona babe nama shares kula malls then siyazi ukuthi ama malls onobani omphakathi yabo so cha amamola kona wethu umfethu la ukhulumile ngiyamuzwa ukuthi sambe ukuthi ubahle ya di SABC asisho ukuthi impucuko asiyifuni sisho ukuthi umqondo wakho umuthi uyaphucuka ufuna ukuba njengomlungu noma uzoyithatha konke lokho ozokufunda imathematics iscience uyathola ukuze yabona ukuthi nawe ukuthi uzozakhela okwakho uzakhela oFerrari bakho yabona uyithungela oGucci bakho uyangithola ukuthi ngithini okwamanje asikwenzi lokho
Max
all right Max comment
i-development into ebalekile ema-township kodwa yenze ngendlela right ngoba abantu ababuya back bazothatha umnotho wase-township same bantu futhi labo ekuyibona kade ukubona so njengamanje si-create this thing of come back to the township but now they start taking them all back to the township because we're not going to suburb or cities anymore so I think the government, they might need to interfere because they have a power in this thing more than us to protect us. Because as we first uthi imoli yafika but kusezindia la kasibani kusezubani so loyo mnotho lo awusekho and they come with the muscle power of finance which means thina we are lacking there noma ngithi ngiyazama and izinto zethu emalokishini zinama rules angaspeedaphiswa kakhulu and they not come to educate us as the blacks because the blacks are not educated so they don't come and educate us and then yes and give skills ufana ukuthi once kwafika Pick and Pay already I'm down
that's a problem in township
ayisabonga kakhulu and sekushaya sona isikhathi ukuthi sibuye sibambe njengamanje ngokuthi Zulu Max sitshela ukuthi ama malls ayabalimaza kakhulu siyabonga kakhulu
thank you for joining us salibona kusasa